Okay, so we're back to part 2. I've gotten all the parts, so we're gonna take everything all apart. I'm gonna start doing the valve cover gasket because it's leaking oil inside where the spark plugs are. So we're gonna remove everything. Remove all the bolts. See, everything is covered in oil here. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Get this out of the way. I'm gonna remove the PCV hose. Get that out of the way. If you guys have seen my previous videos when I did the dipstick tube, this hose was extremely brittle. I used dielectric grease to get it in. Some grease in here. Just trying to take it out, that's all. Anyhow, we're gonna start removing some bolts and stuff. Remove the bracket here. Remove the nut. It's holding this in place. You need to remove everything that may be in the way, so because we're gonna be taking out the valve cover. You're gonna remove the PCV hose in here as well. There's a bracket in the back here. We need to take that off. Just having a look here. Either you can get the harness off with the clip in the back, or you can take the bracket completely off. that bolt is part of the valve cover and gasket. So when you're torquing everything, you gotta make sure you take that bolt into a consideration. I had a difficult time in trying to remove that. So we are gonna remove this bracket so that we put it back in, and then later we are going to put the harness back in after. So we're gonna remove the spark plugs. It's a 5/8 socket. 5/8. We're gonna remove the spark plugs. Just going to loosen them for the time being. I'm just gonna use this to take them out. That's the number 4. Now we're doing the number 3. Now the number 2. Now we're going to do the number 1. So now we're gonna remove the bolts for the valve cover gasket. There's a couple in the back here. One here. We'll take this out later. And one here behind the harness for the fuel injectors. See what size this is. 12. 12. Move this. Just remember that this one goes here. Just make sure all the bolts are taken out before you start to lift anything up. So now we are going to remove this and just give it a shake. It's already loose. If it doesn't come loose, you can use a very small pry bar just to pry up here, but not on the cylinder head here. So you need to be careful. This it comes right out. Just need to be careful. Here's the old one. Old gasket. No, you will need to clean the surfaces on the engine, and then you need to clean this afterwards. So now this is a perfect time to inspect anything here. To inspect the camshafts for wear, inspect the slack in the timing chain. That's pretty loose. That doesn't look very good. Yeah, the timing chain, it doesn't look too good. It's loose here. It should be tight. This is a sign that the timing chain may need to be replaced. And either the guides are worn out or the timing chain tensioner. The engine still runs though okay, so there's no issues there. So now I just have a drain pan here. We're going to remove the old gasket and clean everything down. I have a mini parts washer, but it's very dirty, so I don't feel like using it at the moment. So anyways, we're just going to clean this up with brake cleaner, and then make sure we clean the surfaces down and stuff. Sorry about the bad lighting. I was trying to see if I can get the better lighting here. So we're gonna clean this down. Make sure everything is dry and oil free, so that when you put the new gasket on, it seals well and properly. You may need to use a thin screwdriver to run across the grooves here to clean everything down. You can use either a rag or a thin screwdriver. A rag and use a screwdriver. Still some traces of the old sealant, so I need to make sure I get rid of that. Clean everything on top. So now we're gonna install the new gasket now, and we might have to use a little bit of sealer in here so that the tubes, they sit in place, and they might fall off. I know usually it's not good to use sealer for these things, but because when you turn it over, it might fall down. But we'll see on what we can do. Maybe I may be able to do this without using the sealer. Typically, if you use sealer, it will cause issues with sealing the surface properly. So you probably don't want to put any sealer here. Install the tubes. Make sure everything is in properly. Then we have to clean the surfaces on the engine now. So now we're just gonna clean the surfaces here. I have a razor blade that I'm using just to get the excess material off. And you're gonna have to put some a little dab of silicone on the cam area. Just get all the traces of the silicone out from here. Once you're done, give it a wipe and spray with some brake cleaner. Try your best not to get any dirt inside here. Spray some brake cleaner. Wipe the area down. Try your best to give it a good wipe and to clean the surfaces as best as you can. Once you're done, you can just give this a quick and final wipe. So also you want to clean this area as well. I didn't show that earlier. I was busy doing a few things. I need to clean this as well. Make sure this area is clean and dry. Give it a wipe. So I want to clean the bolts here. I'm gonna remove the old grommets. Need to make sure these bolts are clean before we put them back on the vehicle. I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner in here. Grab a couple of rags. Put some brake cleaner in a container. Grab a couple rags and cover it up. and give it a few shakes to clean all the dirt. You want to clean all the dirt that are on the bolts. Make sure the bolts are clean. You see all the pieces of metal and dirt here. Make sure you don't forget to install the grommets. On these bolts. So before we put this valve cover back, I was looking at the service manual. It said you have to put some sealant. You can use the Toyota formed in place gasket, the FIPG sealant, or you can use the Permatex stuff. It says to apply sealant to the two areas on where the camshaft is before you install the valve cover. It said within 3 minutes after applying the sealant. Then you can't run the engine for at least 2 hours so that the sealant can dry up. And here I just have the torque specification, which is 7 foot-pounds. So now we're going to apply some sealant to the camshaft area and where the lines are. So we'll put a little dab here. Might need to put a tiny bit more. Doesn't need to be too much. A little dab in the back. You need to be quick when you do this. Make sure that when you install the valve cover that the gasket does not roll over, otherwise you will have an oil leak. We're gonna turn this over. Just want to quickly show you guys and where I put the dab of sealant. I may have put a little bit too much, but it's not that big of a deal. Install the valve cover. Be very careful that you don't roll the seal over. Line everything up. Just quickly verify that everything is in properly before you put the bolts in. And if you need to, I'm just extra paranoid. I like to use a mirror just to make sure that I put it in properly. So have a look at the gasket from underneath. Make sure you didn't roll over the gasket, because it has happened to me on other vehicles in the past. So I want to make sure that I do this properly so I don't have any oil leaks. And usually it's on the corners where you'll run into those issues. So just giving you guys a heads up. This is a very straightforward job. It's not too difficult. I think we are good here. Now we're gonna install the bolts, all of our bolts. There's one bolt in the back here. May have used one bolt here that was for the engine cover. Last time I did a valve cover gasket on this vehicle, I thought I was missing a bolt. There's a bolt supposed to be here. It's in my pocket. So here's the other bolt. It was lying around somewhere. So it goes along with the bracket. Yeah, I lost myself with the bracket. I've forgotten how it goes. So you need to remember that. Yeah, we'll do this later, I guess. I don't know. And just install this for the time being. I'll figure where that bracket goes. It's somewhere here, but I forget the orientation of it. So anyways, we're going to tighten everything down. Just tighten it a little snug. Just for the time being. You have to tighten everything down in several passes. I'm just kind of rushing now. So 7 foot-pounds is the torque spec. 7 foot-pounds. So 84 inch-pounds. So we're just gonna work our way uniformly. So it's 84 inch-pounds. For every 1 foot-pound is 12 inch-pounds. So 12 times 7 is 84. Work our way back here. Do the middle. These ones have the rubber grommets on them. I don't know as to why they are doing that. No. Looks very strange that the rubber is supposed to swell up like this as you tighten them down. You can see here the rubber is pushed up. I don't know if that's right. I haven't done these ones in some time, so anyhow, I'm going to finish the job, retorque everything. You should work your way in a crisscross fashion. I just get a little nervous when working with engine sealant. I just don't like dealing with it, but it's not much that I can do. In the back here. Just torque everything down now. And torque the 12 mil nut here. Didn't take this into consideration. Should be okay now. After this dries up, I'm going to figure out where that bracket goes. I just noticed that actually I know that every once in a while when you do some service on these vehicles, sometimes you may need to remove the nut off to get the brackets off, and so that will disturb the valve cover slightly if you take the nuts off, because this is part of what holds the valve cover down. So what happened here is swap the brackets around with this one and this one. This is supposed to be here, that's supposed to be over here. I'm gonna remove this, put this aside. Yeah, I made a mistake there, unfortunately. This out, this belongs here. So anyhow, we're back now. I just had to swap the brackets over. I had them the other way around. I ended up bending that one, and then I put this one back here. I bent this one back, put this here. It's not the end of the world. So anyways, retorque everything down. And once everything is torqued, you just need to put everything all back together. Just gonna retorque these ones back here. Now just make sure you run through all the bolts here. Make sure everything is torqued down, and then you can put everything all back together. And then wait for a couple hours or so after you've put everything all back, and then you can once everything is all back together, and we're gonna clear the codes and double check for leaks and make sure there's no more misfire. So I put this bracket back and the hose back for the PCV valve. The spring has lost its tension. We're going to install the ignition coils. We have to wash the two old ones down because these ones have been replaced. There's a bunch of oil everywhere, so we're gonna have to wash them down. But first, we need to install the new spark plugs. So I got some new spark plugs here, NGK iridium plugs. The laser iridium, and now they have the newer plugs in the market now called ruthenium, which is a bit more expensive. I was going to use those ones, but they didn't have it in stock, so I'm just going to double check the gap. This is I'm just checking the gap just to make sure it's okay. It's about the 0.036 of an inch. I'll need to check the specifications. I'm just checking them because I'm just doing my due diligence. I'm going to check the spec. I think it's something like 0.040 or something close to that. So these should be okay. I'm just double checking because sometimes the gap could be too small or too big. You may need to adjust them, but typically you're not supposed to adjust these on today's vehicles, but sometimes you may have to do it. So I'm gonna grab some anti-seize here. Just put a tiny bit. I'm going to put some anti-seize on the new plugs. You don't need to, but I like to put anti-seize to prevent the plug from seizing up in the block. Make sure this washer is straight. You need to be careful. Make sure the washer is not on an angle. Make sure it's straight. Be very careful with this washer here. It needs to be flat. Sometimes they move around too much. We're going to install this in the first one. We are going to torque all the plugs afterwards. And we are going to do the other ones now. Have a look at the gap. Both the same, 0.036. Anti-seize here. Cylinder 2. Just tighten it up a little bit. Number 3. Have a look at the gap. The same. 0.036. I'm going to have a look at the specifications afterwards. I'm doing the last one now. Both the same, 0.035, 0.036. Put some anti-seize on. Tighten this up a little bit. Make sure that when you're doing the spark plugs, you don't forget the the rubber, because sometimes the rubber gets too worn out and they get jammed in the spark plug hole. Make sure you don't forget that. So I will get the information regarding about the spark plug gap. I will put it up on the screen somewhere, and the torque spec for the spark plugs is 18 foot-pounds. So torque everything to 18. Everything is all torqued. You can reinstall the hose for the valve cover, vacuum line. All good. We're going to just wash down and clean the oil on the old coils before we install the new ones. Just gonna wipe down the coils, clean the oil off. We're gonna put some dielectric grease at the bottom of the coil, so that the coils don't get stuck in the future, and it gives good contact with the spark plug. So we're going to install it here. You can do the same with the bolts if you want. I'm going to clean this one. Install this. Make sure to install the bolt here for the bracket after you are done installing the other coil. So we're gonna install the new coils. I'm using the SMP or BWD standard motor, the same company. So I'm gonna install these. Make sure there's no dirt or anything in there. Need to tighten everything down. Install the connectors and tighten down the coils. You don't need to tighten the coils down too much. This torque spec is only 80 inch-pounds, just a little bit, and then that's it, and you're good. We're just going to leave the engine cover for the time being, and just going to let it sit for a while before I clear the codes and start the engine up. Just make sure everything is tight and everything is installed properly and there is nothing loose. So now I've waited about 2 or 3 hours. So now I'm just going to clear the codes and start the engine up. Just make sure there's no leaks, that the misfire is gone. So just make sure that the misfire is gone. I can already hear that the vehicle is running okay now. And just double check for leaks for the valve cover gasket. Make sure there's no leaks. Go for a road test and then come back and make sure there's no leaks. And then that's it. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please support me by giving it a like, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day and take care.